What's up everybody, Farmer Q here, and today we're going to be getting into a little bit of irrigation repair. Specifically, we have a rotor that is not lined up correctly. It's leaking a little bit from the side of it. We're going to make sure that we get this thing back in action. We're going to have it set in the correct level, and I'm going to show y'all a few things that you might want to know if you're changing a rotor out in your front yard at your house. So let's get it. So if you look here, this head on the bottom of it right here is gushing out water from the actual body of the head. Not only that, but the head itself isn't elevated right. It's positioned in a spot that it's not going to distribute the water correctly, on top of the fact that it has a leak. So we're going to replace this rotor right here with a Hunter PGP adjustable rotor. Because I got this rotor from the supply house, I actually have a nozzle tree that comes along with the rotor. Typically they'll already have a nozzle slotted into the rotor. Really quick, I wanted to show y'all what these numbers mean on this nozzle tree. So if you ever see a nozzle in these big box stores and you see numbers on them, this 1.5 means 1.5 gallons per minute. This means 2 gallons per minute, 2.5 gallons per minute, 3 gallons per minute, and so on, all the way up to 8 gallons a minute. And you can see as we get bigger, our holes also get bigger on our nozzles here. So if you're wondering how to open up this rotor head here to insert our nozzle, there is a slot on top of the rotor here that needs a key, and this right here is our rotor key to open up our rotor so that we can insert our nozzle. So in order to do that, all we do is right here there is a slot that matches this key right here, and we just come in here like this, we twist it to where it can actually latch onto it, and we pull this out just like this. And when you pull it out, you got to have somewhat of a grip to be able to hold this open just like that. So this rotor specifically in this spot that we're replacing needs a 3 gallon per hour nozzle, because this is a different brand, but this nozzle right here, the hole on it, matches up really well with the nozzle that's in the ground. But here we have our 3 gallon per minute nozzle here, and all we're gonna do is take this hole slot, line this up just like that, and we're gonna put it in at a slight angle here just like that, with everything facing up. So before I put it all the way in, I'm going to bring you close up and show you a full perspective. It's kind of at a tilted angle here, but that's how you put these nozzles into these rotors. So now that we're here, all I'm going to do is push this straight into the slot. We're flush on our rotor here. The rotor that's in the field is kind of fanned out, so there's a screw on the top of this nozzle here that we can adjust the fan on the rotor. So we're going to bring this down just like this, and it also serves the purpose of keeping our nozzle inside the slot. So you have to screw this down at least to right here, because that's going to hold your nozzle in place, and the force, the PSI of the water is not going to push it out. So we're going to bring this down to just a little bit over, about right there, and that's how we're going to be in the field. So one more thing I wanted to show you on this rotor here is the spray pattern, because obviously on the landscape, we're going to be going a half pattern for where we're at right now. So this is the spray pattern of the nozzle. Right now it's already adjusted to half, so we don't really have to adjust it, but I want to show y'all how to do that real quick. So you can see here, it goes halfway. I can show you better from this angle. It goes here to here, so it's halfway already. But if you want to increase the spray range of the nozzle, all you have to do, you see on the top here, there's a plus sign and there's a minus sign. If you screw in the direction of the minus, it'll make the pattern shorter. Screw in the direction of the plus, it'll make the pattern larger. If I did plus, it would spray into the sidewalk over here, spray into the sidewalk over here. And if I did minus, it wouldn't reach the edge right here, and it would not reach the edge right here. So you see the rotor right here. Whenever I dig a rotor up, I try to dig somewhat of a perfect circle around that rotor so that when I bury it back, I can bury it back with a lot of ease. So now we're going to try to pop this out. Our donut that we created, we just lean back, kind of pry it out of the hole, come to the other side here, go into the ground here, just kind of prying it up. Just like that. I try to keep my turf together because it really helps make everything kind of come back exactly like you want it to be. So this is what we're looking for right here. And you can see that the riser on the head is actually broke. So that's why we were leaking, because there was a break on the riser. So you can see here, that's where it's broken. We're gonna replace the rotor as well because it's really old and in bad condition, but we know that it was at least leaking from that spot. So this right here is called the de-threader tool. So when you have pipe broke off inside of the fitting like that, you can use this de-threader tool because it has a reverse thread pattern with a star on it to latch onto the plastic. You can use this to come in here and it will thread this broken piece of thread out of this pipe right here. Just like that. So now that we have our nozzle inside of our head here, and we also have our pattern exactly like we want at a halfway point, just like this. Instead of using this riser, we're gonna use this riser right here because we can go straight from here to here with our head. Now, we're not gonna have our head this high, so we're gonna go ahead and cut our riser. So I got this to balance, and what I wanted to show y'all was that when you have it laying down like this, you can pretty much see the level of where it needs to be. So where I want to be is about right here. So I'm gonna cut it right here at that joint, and then I'm gonna screw the head in and show y'all what we're looking like. So what I do, now that I know exactly where I'm gonna cut it, which is right here in between these two thread points, I'm gonna come in here. I'm just gonna get my pipe cutter, slide that in there just like that, and cut it. So now I can just come in here and I can just thread my rotor right into place. And what I want to do is make sure that this arrow right here is facing that way when I screw it all the way in, because that's going to make sure that it sprays back this way, and I'll show you. So we got it almost threaded in, so I'm going to get our arrow pointed just like right there, then I'll show you. So now it's going to go just like this, adjustment like that, and you can see that we're going to have a little overspray. So this is the perfect time to show you here that if I come in here with this right here and I just slightly take this right here into a one turn, I'll show you. Now our overspray is no longer a thing. And that's another reason why we dug our donut just like that, because now when we come back to bury this, we can just flip this just like this. Yeah, we gotta fancy it up a little bit, but as you can see here, our rotor is peaking right from the turf here. Compared to before, our head is looking nice and level, has a good spin to it. The broadcast is a lot better. We're covering our area exactly like we want to. We're even coming all the way into our spray range, and we have it exactly like we want to have it. All right, y'all, that's all there is to it. Got the rotor head replaced, and I hope this helps you out in your lawn and your garden.